Hey guys, what's up? So a lot of people have been saying over the past several years that turn-based RPGs are dead. Wrong! They are still being released even today, even by the bigger companies. So today I'm gonna show you the 10 best modern turn-based JRPGs, and when I say modern, I mean it. I don't mean any ports, remakes, or remaster, no! All these games were released and developed specifically for modern systems in the past 5 years or so. So let's begin. Number 10, Bravely Default 2. This is the third installment in the Bravely series, but the story is unrelated to the others. It was released back in February this year on the Switch, but it recently got a port to PC just a few days ago. Once again, you've got your four main characters a la old school Final Fantasy, each with their own initial job. You can change their classes once you get enough points called asterisks. The battle system with the Brave points is back, though slightly updated from the previous games. Graphics look absolutely gorgeous on the Switch, so the developers did a great job here, and I need to point out, of course, that this was developed by a new studio called Clay Tech Works, not Silicon Studios who did the previous two games. I confess I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Bravely Default, though I admit it's a good game. This one, however, I liked it more, and I definitely see myself going back to it one day. Number 9, Atelier Ryza 1 and 2. So yeah, there's two games so far on PS4, Switch and PC, but I've only played the first one, though I think it's important to know that the second game is also turn-based, but it isn't traditional turn-based, you know, previous Atelier games were, but not Ryza. Here, time flows normally so the enemies won't wait to attack you. You only have direct control of one of your party members, but you can give commands to the others. The more you attack, the better the chances of building action points to perform skill or magic attacks. While I still prefer the traditional Atelier turn-based system, I have to say this one was pretty badass too. Everything else is the same as in most Atelier games. A clumsy, upbeat heroine becomes an alchemist, goes gathering items in different areas or dungeons, synthesizes items she needs or other NPCs need, etc. No time limit to complete the quests and requests. Cool game here, certainly one of the better Atelier games out there. Number 8, Monster Hunter Stories 2. It says 2 on the title, but it's got nothing to do with the first one on the 3DS as far as I'm concerned, in terms of story. You will customize your main character, a kid that is eager to become a monster trainer, so the game will revolve around finding monster eggs in different locations to hatch them and train them. Several side quests will spice things up during your journey, but it will still follow a main story. In this game, the battle system is awesome! You can either fight alone or on par with your monster if you get the chance. One ally and their monster can fight by your side as well, but you won't be able to control them. In fact, you can't directly control your own monster either. You just select a skill every now and then if you want to. There's a strong triangle attack system with one type of attack being stronger to one but weaker to another. Actually, combat revolves heavily on this system with its own unique variations. Overall, this is an excellent game, brimming with charm and personality. Give it a try if you can. Number 7, Am Setsuna. Setsuna was a launch title for the Switch, but it was released previously on PS4 and PC. A PS Vita version was there as well, although it remained exclusive to Japan. The world got digital versions only, sadly, but at least there's a Chinese version with English subtitles out there, physically. Anyway, this beautiful RPG inspired by the retro classics barely made it here, as it was released back in 2016, but it still holds up really well if you want more of an old school feel. cause it's the classic story about a chosen character that starts a journey, in this case, a very tragic pilgrimage to sacrifice herself, with the aid of several companions that join for different reasons. Most of the game will take place in snowy or really cold environments with a very traditional style of gameplay, just like the battle system with an active waiting bar for each of your party members. I love this game, man. How I wish it could have gotten a physical North American release, or PAL at least. Number 6. The Alliance Alive. This 3DS title was one of the last JRPGs to be released for the 3DS. Japan got it in 2017, but almost a year later the rest of the world did. I know I said no ports or remakes here, and I meant it, but I just wanted to let you know that this was remastered on the PS4, PC, and Switch the following year. With a story written by the creator of Suikoden, The Alliance Alive will put you into different perspectives with different characters until they all joined up to end the conflict between humans and demons. Instead of gaining experience, characters may randomly increase status after each battle. Up to 5 characters can participate in them, and you can use different formations depending on the situation. Weapons break here, so keep in mind your use of them. The game can be quite challenging in a couple of boss fights, but overall it's pretty balanced. No matter the version you choose to play, this game is still one of the best modern turn-based RPGs today. Number 5. Octopath Traveler. Octopath is also one of the best, but also one of the hardest. It's everywhere except the PS4 for some reason, even on Stadia. The only physical version, though, remains on the Switch. You select one of 8 main characters, but you can recruit them all if you want to. It is strongly advised to do so anyway, cause you need to be on a certain level if you want to stand a chance on the next chapter. After all chapters, you can beat the final boss of your chosen protagonist and you're done, unless you want to beat all the other characters as chapters, something I strongly recommend as well. Post-game is brutal, and I mean brutal, but that's up to you. It takes a lot of elements from the Saga series, and you can also change classes to gain more abilities, but here you can level up no problem, although the grinding will be pretty much half of your playthrough. Excellent nonetheless, with amazing battle system, mature deep story, and those beautiful graphics that have become so influential nowadays. Number 4. Persona 5. This one needs no introduction. Most of you have played either this one or the Royal Edition already. I'm so glad Atlus is still keeping things turn-based, and I truly hope they continue to do so for this series. I love this game like millions of people, and it surpassed my expectations, more so when I realized it's really long, way longer than all of its predecessors. And it's perfect for beginners as it's very balanced compared to the others. I don't need to explain this game or why it absolutely needed to be on the first places of this list, cause I think everybody knows it at this point. Just want to add that I love the soundtrack, the graphic style, and Morgana and Makoto being my favorite characters. Yeah. Number 3. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse. Still exclusive to the 3DS, released back in 2016, so it also barely made it here. It's a follow-up to the original SMT4, released also on the 3DS but in 2013. You do need to finish that game in order to fully understand this one, or at least play it for a while, enough to understand where some characters in Apocalypse come from. I think this is the best mainline SMT title ever made, though we've yet to see the 5th one, which will be released a couple of months from now. It's just as brutal as any other Shin Megami Tensei game, especially the final dungeon and bosses. But it has an easy mode, and don't be afraid to try it, as it can still be quite challenging on it. I love the story and especially the soundtrack. It combines songs from the original SMT4 and new ones. Classic press turn system by exploiting the enemy's weaknesses to gain more turns for you, and the enormous variety of demons you can have. This is a masterpiece in all sense of the word and easily one of the best modern turn-based JRPGs nowadays. Number 2. Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4. The previous generation saw the first two games that were actually remastered for the PS4 a couple of years ago. 3 and 4 were released in 2019 and 20 respectively outside of Japan. All 4 games are pretty much one big ass game cut into 4 volumes, so you absolutely do need to play the first ones to fully understand these two. The saga has become so popular lately that I feel they need no introduction either. They're still gaining fans all over the world for good reasons. Sure, there's tons of reading, but that also means tons of character development. These two are longer than the first 2 episodes, but if you focus on the main story, you'll do no more than 60 hours on each. They have 2 different battle systems, one with 4 interchangeable characters and one with 3 mechs, also known as knights. Both are still traditional turn-based, the first system with a small touch of strategy. Together they make one huge amazing masterpiece. They're also on the Switch and PC, by the way. Number 1. Dragon Quest XI. The king of this video is the game that got me back into the Dragon Quest series. My favorite so far, a superb adventure that also needs no presentation. All previous games were somewhat cryptic and hard, but in a good sense. 11 got rid of that and brought an excellent introduction to Dragon Quest and a very balanced experience for all types of gamers. No, the battle system didn't change at all, it just got much better without altering its traditional nature. I'm pretty sure Square Enix was afraid of the reception this game was gonna have, what with it still being turn-based. Old fans and newcomers alike proved them so wrong. A critical acclaimed reception welcomed this mind-blowing RPG with open arms into success. You can find this winner on the PS4, the Switch, PC, Xbox One and Stadia. It even got a 3DS release, but that one stayed in Japan. Here's hoping the next entry will be just as great, still with a turn-based battle system. Since I'm such a huge fan of Radiant Historia, you're probably wondering why the hell wasn't this game on the list. Well, that's because this is a port of this, a game that was released 2 generations ago. But anyway, this would have been my number 1 in this list. Remember that. Amazing game. Both versions. And what about all of those obscure JRPGs that are also modern and turn-based? I'm gonna have to do a video about those, right? Because all of the games you saw today are actually quite popular. So all we have to do now is wait for Shin Megami Tensei 5, which will be released 2 months from now, and I'm pretty sure it will top all of these games. Maybe. That's it for today's video, people. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Long live turn-based RPGs, man. See you next time.